Iran's top nuclear negotiator, Saeed Jalili, has been in Brussels, meeting with the European Union's foreign policy chief, Javier Solana, the official designated by major powers to explore the possibility of negotiations with Iran on curtailing its nuclear power programme, which the West suspects is a cover for weapons development. Jalili's trip, when he talked to EuroNews, came as Iran faces further UN sanctions.
Good evening, welcome to EuroNews. What do you think about this mistrust in the West vis-à-vis Iranian nuclear capacity?
It's quite clear today that these countries are just seeking to find some false pretext to take these measures against Iran. The same countries that once closely cooperated with the dictator in Iran, the former regime of the Shah, they signed a nuclear agreement with that regime. And then that dictatorship was toppled by the Iranian people. And now they've started to impose sanctions against our country and our people.
The word is stability. The answer is stability. Iran is not giving confidence to other countries.
We think and we believe that the international community is supporting Iran's position with regard to its peaceful nuclear activities and programs. More than 120 countries in the non-aligned movement supported Iran's position and its peaceful program and its rights within its nuclear energy program. Just 2 or 3 countries consider themselves to be the international community. They consider themselves to be the entire international community. Even the US National Intelligence Report acknowledged that Iran is now following a peaceful nuclear program in the country.
What about the existence of Israel?
We believe that occupation and coercion do not give legitimacy. Everything must be determined by a democratic process. That is the only solution. If the outcome of a democratic process is that an entity disappears, then that is the problem with that entity.
If you have such ideas about the existence of Israel, this entity as you called it, don't you think that some countries that are friends of Israel, like the United States or some European countries, won't trust Iran when Iran is trying to build up a nuclear capability, even if Iran is saying that is a civil one?
We have always said that the Palestinian land belongs to the people who live there, including Jews, Christians and Muslims. There are no differences among them. And all the people who were expelled from the Palestinian land must have the right to return to their fatherland. And these people must have the opportunity to participate in a democratic process for self-determination. Whatever the decision is, it must be respected. It's not for me, for you, for some other country to decide about them. Why do they feel threatened by what is just a democratic proposal?
Why do you think that is important for Iran to go on with the enrichment of the nuclear capability of uranium?
That's part of our right according to the NPT, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. We have certain obligations and certain rights. We should fulfill our obligations and must be allowed our rights according to the NPT. The question is, why is it important to those countries? Why do they want to deprive us of our rights?
A country with a small and reduced nuclear capability, civil nuclear capability, can import and enrich the uranium from abroad, from Russia, in the case of Iran. And it could be also less expensive. Why so to have a national Iranian enrichment technique?
The most important reason is that we're going to have this technology as an indigenous technology developed indigenously in our country. According to our 20-year development program, we have to produce 20,000 megawatts of electricity generated through nuclear power plants. For that level of capacity, we need to build at least 20 nuclear power plants in the next 20 years and invest billions in each power plant. What are the guarantees that if we build these power plants, we're going to be able able to get fuel for them from these countries, the countries that even refuse to sell us passenger planes and aircraft spare parts. That's an important question. And you must know about the level of enrichment in our country. We have a number of centrifuges. How much fuel do you think we can produce with those now? Even increasing the number of centrifuges tenfold is not going to provide fuel, even for one nuclear power plant.
Do you think that the nuclear issue could be object of a sort of comprehensive talk with the United States on the situation in the Middle East?
Yes, there's no problem with that. But the real problem is not about having talks or negotiations. The problem is the approach that we may have towards any talks in the future. When two sides are going to talk to each other or to have negotiations, there's a question of how they're going to talk to each other, as two friends, two partners, or two rivals, or two enemies.
What about the change of attitude from Germany and France? Because they have changed their attitude over the last couple of years, don't you think?
In proportion to their attitude, they will see the results and the outcomes of their policies. These countries might have changed their attitude in proportion to their policies. Their companies and their economic agencies have also become less active in our country. So they are now witnessing the outcome of their policies.
Thank you very much. Thank you.